What's good, y'all? You already know who it is, that funky fox magic mustache man, Klever Wisdom. And I'm gonna basically talk about my journey today that I've pretty much been on this entire year. To be honest with you, I mean, I've had a very interesting 2020, to say the least, you feel? Basically, my 2020 started just, kind of just whatever, like January was whatever. February is when the fireworks started. A whole bunch of things started shifting and changing. The relationship that I was in for 9 years ended, and that started a transition for me, moving back to my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, and staying with my folks for 13 weeks, which was, bittersweet as it is when you stay with your folks, because there was a lot of ups and downs and whatnot, but there was some beauty, and there was some beastly moments, if you will. But going through that whole transition really did a lot for me on an emotional and mental level, I would say. More so, I would say. I started connecting more so with myself spiritually, and the reason I'm saying more so emotional and mental is because I really started dealing with a lot of the, demons from my past and the darkness that was lingering that I didn't want to get to, and the shadow work that I didn't want to get to that really actually needs to be done, because you guys, if you're not doing the shadow work, you're not healing. It's just that simple. Like, you can't focus on just you, and all your good qualities, because that's not just you. You also have some qualities that aren't so kosher, and they're things that you definitely don't want to dwell on and hyper focus on with yourself, but you definitely don't want to ignore them, and you want to handle them so that you actually can heal and then go from being light self to shadow self to golden self, because that's how this all works. Now, a lot of things, like I said, happened, but it was really beautiful how there was a shit ton of darkness that brought me to this point of okay, I'm now at the edge of the cliff. I have nowhere else to go. It is straight water. I literally have to take a leap of faith right now, and that's what I did. It's really interesting because on Mother's Day, I got up with this thought. Not a conscious thought, like a subconscious thought. Like, someone was telling me, yo, go look at airline prices, because the week prior I looked and it was a price that I was definitely not about paying. I was like, no thank you. Especially during COVID, this is what you're going to charge? Word? No, not about it. So I waited, and it substantially cut the price. And I was like, whoa. So no thought about that, just jumped on it. And, next thing I knew, all these other transitions and things started to come together. And it was even really interesting because, the night before I got on the plane, I did not know where I was staying. So it's here I am flying to LA, and it's I don't know where I'm going to be putting my stuff and where I'm going to be sleeping. Talk about a major leap of faith here. Because I'm used to just, flying into LA and my ex would pick me up and we'd go figure it out after that, or it already pre-figured out before I even got there. So here I am now doing this completely on my own, which is something that I haven't done before. And it's amazing how everything works, So I land, my phone's on 10% of battery after I turn it back on, and I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna do, Get my luggage, I get the lift, my phone shuts off right as as I booked the lift, and the guy showed up, whatever, I used his car charger to get my stuff charged, and I go immediately to where a friend of mine said that he knew where a room was available, and it was his ex-girlfriend, and I went to her house, and there was other roommates too, and it was all just whatever have you. So I was blessed and allowed to have the room, but then about 8 days later or 12 days later, I get a phone call on June 20th, the day after Father's Day. And basically, I'm told that now I can't even pay for the next month's rent because the room is needed. Because the landlady lived next door, and she lived with her father, and they had people over for Father's Day. And one of those people the next day was basically told that they tested positive for COVID. So she basically was like, whoa, not taking any chances, and told me that she needed that room to isolate. So I had no choice, and I had to get out, okay? Now it's like, holy shit. But at the time that she told me this, you know, I feel like most people would be like, oh my God, and immediately panic and have this reaction. And I didn't, which was something that was a bit strange for me, because that's what I was used to doing. And I had this calm, this peace that passes all understanding that just stayed in my heart. It just stayed in the center of my chest. And I was like, okay. And I just had this feeling like this is meant to be. So basically then, I was trying to figure everything out. And then on July 4th is when the clouds opened up. It's ironic too, because on a cosmic level, like all the planets were in alignment, and that was the time period, the summer solstice, in which we had 3 eclipses, which was a super rare celestial event. And the fact also that the planets were all in alignment, that was super rare too. And it was on July 4th that my buddy Tony Greenhand, I reached out to him one day, and we were just talking on July 4th, and we were just talking, and he basically helped me out, and put me up for a couple of days in his place and gave me some work, and then that set me up with some cash to move forward, and then, you know, kept moving forward. Then he set me up with a gig, which that gig didn't really work out, because some things were misunderstood, because y'all know I'm super blunt when I talk about things, and it let me go for those reasons. It's what it is. Because I become very passionate about the things that I really give a fuck about. And y'all, really right now, the biggest thing that I give a fuck about is saving these children. Because that's the next step of this whole thing. I got to this place, and then it was like a few days later, yeah, it all opened up. Like like this next adventure in my life opened up with being part of the Save Our Children movement, and really going after these human traffickers and doing something to actually free these children. Because you gotta think about it, y'all, we were all children once. And if you have children, that could be your child. You gotta think about that too, you feel? So this is something that I'm very passionate about. And I gotta say, it has brought me so many beautiful people. Oh my goodness gracious, y'all. Like, the people that have been around me, just the energy on them is just absolutely radiant and positive and just gorgeous. Like, oh. And that's the biggest blessing, is like, not only that, those people have, you know, really helped me in multiple ways, either by, you know, reaching out literally to help, or teaching lessons, or giving blessings, or collaborating on things, or all sorts of different things here and there. And it's just beautiful, y'all. Like, you know, I tell y'all, spread your wings all the time, but that's really it right there. When you take that leap of faith and you truly spread these wings and you just, that's the only way you can soar. Y'all, we can stand at the cliff and we can stare at the water and we can appreciate the view from the edge of the cliff, but understand that there is far more. There is far more. And all you have to do is take that leap. And yes, it's going to be extremely scary when you do. It is. Believe me, it is. It's not something that I'm going to say is easy, but it's something that's necessary. It is something that's necessary, because you are basically going on a journey to face yourself and every single limitation that you have ever presented yourself with from keeping yourself to being the greatest version of yourself. It's just that simple, y'all. We are literally holding ourselves back from the very life that we proclaim to want. Even me making this video right now is a huge step because people have told me for the longest time to make YouTube content. And I've been like, with all these reasons that I think are great, but the actual of it is they are just complete excuses, and I need to get over that and get through that, which is what I am doing right now, y'all. So you are definitely going to be seeing a lot more of me on here. So subscribe, get out there and spread your wings, y'all. Much love, love and lightning, peace.